Alright, well, what is up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. It's sunny. It's Saturday. Doing our best to get on some fish. Had a tournament this morning that got canceled. And now we're at it again. Because I went bass fishing this morning, had no luck. All my spots were either full of people or just weren't. There was nothing going on. And yep, so now I'm back here at the creek. See if we can get some Tennessee River goldfish. Hey Travis, how are you, buddy? Oh, good. Glad to hear that. You out fishing this weekend? Oh. That's right, I forgot you told me that. How's that coming along anyway? Dave! I just got the lines wet. I haven't seen anything yet, haven't heard anything yet. Three ounces appears to be holding, which I was a little surprised at, to be honest. Putting the sinkers in those bobbins made a big difference. I like the way it's sitting a lot better. I did not have time to make feed corn, so I'm using canned corn today. I'm assuming you guys can hear me okay. Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? Travis, insurance always takes forever, so I definitely understand that. Dave, the water looks, honestly, it looks about the same as it did the last time you and I came down here and caught some back in February. Fantastic. It may be a little bit dirtier than it was that day, but it definitely doesn't look bad. This creek's always a little bit dirtier than the main river anyway, typically, unless they're just absolutely flooding the river. And when I was down here earlier, I felt the water. It doesn't feel that cold, so I'm hoping maybe they'll be in here, but we'll see. Of course, you and I both have that theory about that discharge right upstream, possibly put in some warmer water. I'll try it, Dave. I'll try it, man. I'll try it for sure. I'd love another 20-pound carp. Hope your shoulder gets feeling better, man. $27 is the number to beat. 27 is the number to beat for sure. Well, 26 and a half, so yeah, 27. I hope so, man. That'd be cool. I got enough bait that I'll be changing out baits every 15-20 minutes. Like I said, I'm just using canned corn with some fake corn on there to help hold it onto the hair so the turtles aren't stealing it all, and that I'm not fishing on credit. And then I got sweet feed to use in those little bags I use on the carp stuff in order to keep them interested. Haven't caught a fish in a hot minute though. I'm itching for sure. I mean, caught a little skipjack, but you know, those are tiny fish. I need a big fish, big carp, big catfish. I'm not picky. The catfish haven't been treating me or Shayna very well this year so far. Carp have honestly been really good fishing this year so far for carp. My average is over 20 pounds. And I already broke the PB for this year, so it's been an interesting year to start for sure. Exactly, Travis, exactly. I am using the 12-foot rods today. I'm limited on casting in the spot that I'm at, but there are some trees hanging out from the edges of the bank, and I'm hoping that length will help me navigate those trees okay, so I can land the fish safely. But we will definitely have to find out. You will hear the GoPros beep, and we're going to record a video while I'm doing this live as well, because it is time for me to put out another video, so I definitely need to get on it. The shorts campaign has been doing really well. I'm over 300 subscribers now at this point, so we will be doing that giveaway in April. I'll be announcing what we're giving away in a couple weeks. But we did just get started. I got a few hours to fish. And just like anything else in life, you gotta put the time in to reap the rewards. Canned corn and sweet feed. It was a last second trip, so I didn't have time to make any field corn. Rebel, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. I'm lucky right now. I used to have to work Saturdays on a regular basis, but with all the special projects we're doing and everything, they pretty much only have us working when management's there. So I've been getting the weekends off. It's been kind of nice. I just wish every weekend wasn't raining. This is the first one that's not rained in a hot minute. In fact, the sun's come out enough. I just took my pants off. I'm wearing shorts now because I had 2 layers on because it was 35 degrees when I first went fishing this morning. I was supposed to be fishing at tournament this morning for bass on Sharina's channel, but due to everybody else getting iced out and everything up north, they went ahead and postponed it till next week. But next week I'm in the Tennessee River Champion catfish tournament, so I will not be able to fish that bass tournament. So we'll have to see how that goes. While we're sitting here waiting, I'm going to go ahead and prep up some of these PVA bags. For those of you who don't know, PVA is a fabric-like material. It's made out of cornstarch that dissolves in the water. And you can load it up with things that are not water-based. So I use sweet feed, good old-fashioned regular goat feed. And I use that to chum with, because in Tennessee we're allowed to chum, which is nice. And it's pretty convenient. So I'm gonna go and tie up some of these bags so we're ready for the day. I'm guessing I probably need 8 or 10 made up or so. I don't think every time I rebait I'm gonna put one on, but I'm going to every other one for sure. And yeah, no, that PVA is just a good way to put out different kind of particle baits. So that normally you couldn't throw them, but being able to use them with this, you can actually use those baits. I'm actually fishing by myself, Travis. I'm either going to be in the kayak or I'm going to be on the bank. It depends on how bad it's going to rain. As of now, it's supposed to rain pretty hard, so I'm probably going to be on the bank. So I was hoping to be in the kayak. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, the PVA, you just fill up that tube, use this plunger to pack it down, and then just tie a knot on it and cut it free. Speaking of which, I can get my pliers so I can cut it. And it gives you a nice little chum package. And I'll tell you what, the wind is brutal today. I mean, the cold wasn't great, but the wind's the biggest reason I'm not on my kayak right now, because I had already prepped it and ready to go, had it ready to go and everything. And I was debating going even though they canceled the tournament. Travis, you can get the PVA tubes on Amazon, and then there's a United States-based company based out of Oklahoma called Big Carp Tackle that carries it as well. But yeah, once you tie off the knots and whatnot, you just hook that on your hook, and it gives you a nice little bit of bait with your hook bait. You can do it with catfish too. The unfortunate stuff, you cannot use chicken liver or anything like that with this PVA because it'll dissolve. There is a company called Corda, and there's also some other companies. Actually, there's a couple in the United States too. I don't remember their names, but they sell another type of mesh. It looks almost the same. You can fill up with gut pockets or chicken liver or whatnot. It doesn't dissolve. It'll hold it in, and your bait is probably going to dissolve in it before the material actually break. So it's pretty cool stuff. You know, the fishing regulations in Europe, they have them just like we do here. Some of them actually, in my opinion, are probably more strict. There's a lot more private waters. There's public water too, but it's so heavily pressured. These guys have gone to the moon and back with different types of strategies, different types of ideas, techniques to catch these fish. And like I said, that's all their species. I mean, they have Wells catfish. They have, they get big like the blue catfish here in the States do, or bigger. And they got tench, which is probably their equivalent, if I had to say, is their equivalent to bass. Not necessarily in terms of predator fish per se, but more in terms of like size-wise, the tench is more like a bass. And they got things like roach and rudd, which are the equivalent to bluegill and sunfish here and shellcracker. Travis, if you look up Arma Mesh, ARMAMESH, that's the stuff I'm talking about that won't dissolve. It costs a little bit more, but it's the same style of tube and everything. But yeah, it doesn't dissolve in water. Arma Mesh, ARMAMESH. And if I'm not mistaken, Corda is the company that makes it. But I know at CatCon, not this year because I wasn't there, but last year when I was there was a group that was selling a mesh that they claimed was good for chicken livers and everything. It was more of a fabric based rather than a plastic. So I imagine it could tear and stuff, which I don't know how. I guess it depends on how much cover and rocks you fish in. The Arma mesh, in my opinion, is better for the Tennessee River because there's just so many rocks. Even though it is plastic. I say it's plastic. I assume it's plastic. I don't really know what it's made out of. You guys are going to hear me talking some nonsense. I'm going to be on the side talking to the GoPro too, because like I said, I'm going to try to film a video today while I'm doing this live as well. So I'll be checking the chat, but I'm also be talking to my GoPro. So some stuff you'll hear and not see, and just, if you got questions about it, feel free to say it. I'll put it in front of the camera. But I know a lot of you guys are just here for the action of the fish, or just to hang out. So bear with me, and I appreciate you guys stopping by for sure. I will say the water is warm enough that pretty soon the carp are going to spawn, if I had to guess. Probably be after they actually bring the lake to full pool. So I'm not exactly sure how many bites we're going to have today because the water is pretty close to that temperature, just based on feel. I don't have a thermometer on me, so. But when I asked somebody the other day on Facebook, they said the water was 55 degrees. And it's somewhere around there that carp like to start spawning. It's actually crazy the way this year's weather's been. I'm not even sure there was a crappie spawn, or if there was, it wasn't very long. Actually, where this creek's sitting here, it's I'm on the inside of a creek bend, so there actually is there's a small eddy kind of right here where the water's a little bit slower. So I may actually have the baits out too far. We'll have to see how it goes. But it's been 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and put these PVA bags on and recast out. See if anything's took any of the corn. But yeah, you just hook it on like that and cast it out. If your bait's wet, you gotta be quick though, or something will fall off in the cast. Which obviously we don't want. First catch of the day, stick fish. And carp will hook themselves, so I have them on actually a fairly slack line. They tend to pick up the bait, mouth it several times, and then run off with it. So, and that wind is definitely picking up. So it was supposed to be a 13 mile per hour steady wind with gusts of 20 some odd miles per hour. So I was actually kind of thankful that tournament canceled, because I would have had the last half of the day would have been miserable. I would have had to stay close to the boat ramp. Five wonderful people in chat still. We are next to a busy highway, so we'll hear sirens on and off all day, which kind of stinks. But it's part of living in the city. Brandon, how's it going, buddy? Just hanging out on the riverbank, well, creek bank in this case, chasing some Tennessee River goldfish. Talking about life. Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. I will say all the rain lately has been depressing. I'm looking forward to more sunny days. tying up the last bag here, and then I can be a little more social. Alright. Put all this away quick. And hopefully we won't have any more interruptions other than a fish. The only downfall to fishing something like here, if they decide to increase the current in the river, is going to change things. If they raise it up too much, it'll actually start flowing the other direction. If they slow it down, it'll flow out towards the main river. One of the nice things about fishing here, though, it's relatively quiet and lots of people to talk to. Because it is part of the river walk. So you get cyclists, you get people walking by, always asking questions. Apologize for the sniffles. It is allergy season. MT Homestead, how are you? Hope life is treating you well. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. That might be something. Could be the wind though too. It is very, very, very windy today. So probably get a lot of false alarms all day today. The wind is blowing up creek. The current is going down creek. No, Dave, I haven't seen any jumpers yet. I haven't seen anything jump at all. Well, I say that, I just saw something roll, but it was small. This spot would be a lot better if this one tree to my left would go away. Because I can cast towards the bridge. Because I have a feeling that bridge, there's a hole under it. Well, I know there's a hole under it, let me rephrase. And I have a feeling that there's fish holding it, but I can't cast to it. And I can't walk over under it because it's all underwater right now. So hopefully the wind's not picking up too bad on the mic. I will say, for those who watch me carp fish before, you'll notice I'm not using the tripod today. I'm using just a single stick. It's because I can stick it in the ground because of the wind. I was afraid it would blow it over. One of the nice things about that setup I have is it can be used as a tripod or stuck in the ground. if you're interested in getting something like that. Avid is the company that makes it. It's called their Buzz Pod. It actually is just the horizontal piece on the top here. I'll show it to you. It's actually just this bar right here. It's called the Buzz Pod, and these are called bank sticks. Different companies make them. If you want to do the tripod setup, you just get 3 bank sticks and buy that. You're going to end up running about $75 to get the whole thing. Does not include the alarms, but it's been absolutely perfect. I can take it and fish on riprap. I can take it and fish it here on the creek. I can take it up on the lake, fish on the lake. It's completely adjustable height-wise. Like the shortest it goes is like this tall. And the tallest it goes, if you buy a longer bank sticks, you're only limited by what you want to pay for. If you wanted to be 48 inches tall, you can do it. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it. I'm using the MGT GTS bite alarms. They come in a set of 3. I'm only using 2 right now. I'm going by myself and I'm limited on space. The rods are Daiwa Black Widow G50s. The reels, I cannot pronounce the name. I will never be able to pronounce the name. It starts with an S, ends with Yang on Amazon. They're bait runner reels. They're fantastic and, in my opinion, the best for the money in terms of low end, low price gear. I definitely have no complaints about that. And at this point, we have baits in the water. We're on the spot. We're actually fishing. We're putting the time in. Now it's the fish's turn. So. Those reels are, I believe, the 5,000s. If I was to buy a new set again, I would get the 7,000s, especially with those longer rods. They're a little off balance. Plus, they hold more line. I do use 30-pound mono. Obviously, if you're using braid, you probably can get away with the smaller reels. But with all the rocks we have here and everything and whatnot, and we don't have to cast very far, thankfully, in the States. But if you wanted to use those reels for catfish, I'd recommend the bigger ones for sure. The 7, I think they go to a 7. They might even have a 10,000. But those ones are particular, I believe, for 5s. Hang on. Didn't mean to drop you guys. I was just trying to set the camera angle a little better. So we see the sky showing. I don't know if I can get that to work. Bear with me. That's not much better. Not sure I can get it quicker than what it was. Maybe that's it. That might be it. Think you can live with that? We're using canned corn, so we can very easily catch big sunfish or catfish or anything like that as well. It's not limited to just carp. Actually, check this phone. I'll tell you guys. Check the battery, make sure it's good. Which looks like it is, so we should be okay. At least for now. The one other thing about fishing in current, anybody who fishes current knows you have to worry about debris floating through. We will get a bunch, like there's a bunch of sticks going through right now. Very easy to catch on one of the lines and make everything go nuts for a minute while I fix it, but we'll just see. I have a feeling if one of them's in the Gulf, it's going to be that left rod, though. I also do have night crawlers with me. If it stays extremely slow, I may throw on a night crawler and go for some channel cats. But the goal is a goldfish. Couple more weeks of this warm weather, though, we should be seeing some better overall catfish action, which I'm looking forward to too. I know Shannon caught her best and my best both were caught in April and May last year and the year before, so hopefully it'll be the same this year. In about 3 minutes, I'm gonna throw out some more bait. I'm gonna throw some handfuls of corn out and check the hooks, make sure they still got bait on them. But what we're doing by putting more bait in right now, since the river is going down, the creek is going downstream instead of upstream. I mean, it doesn't matter as long as the current's moving. You're calling all the fish from whichever direction the current's going towards your bait. So it's better to put stuff out more early and less later to help call those fish in. Now there is a fine line. Some people argue you put in too much bait, they won't be hungry by the time they get to your hook or whatever. A lot of that's baloney. I mean, to an extent. If the water is extremely cold, then that makes more sense because they'll eat less overall. But during the hot time of the year, and pre-spawn, post-spawn, those fish are eating. Some are eating up to 3 times their body weight food a day. I mean, it's insane. It just depends on their metabolism, how much moving they're doing, where they're living. These creek fish, they're in current all day. I find they fight harder and they're usually more hungry. So it's just a matter of putting in the time, putting in the bait, see what happens. Yeah, I'm gonna go and bait up some more and get these back out here. So I'll be right back. Well, phooey. It is not. So we're at least going to rebait this one. And then we're going to put another rig on the other one. That's just the wind. Maybe look though. Maybe look. Alright, so I had to break off that other one. So I'm just doing a standard slip sinker rig with a 3-ounce weight zip line. Just a hair rig, and I'm going to use a piece of fake corn that floats a little bit with some feed corn on the hair, and then I'm going to go ahead and chuck some corn on the hook itself as well, just to keep the bait nice and full. There are turtles and stuff that frequent here, so I gotta make sure I have enough on there to keep everybody fed and everybody entertained. Again, sorry for the sniffles. It's allergy season, it's driving me nuts. gate was stuck on the needle, so got that little tiny loop. And then you just slide it on. And then you take either a piece of a stick or a stop, like in this case I got an actual hair stop. Came with the corn I bought, the fake corn. It goes in the hole on the top. And it just keeps that stuff from falling off. And then I'll take more corn, like I said, I'm gonna load up this hook as well. And we'll throw on a PVA mesh stick of sweet feed, and we'll get the bait back out. How's it going? Pretty good. Not yet. Still trying though. Too nice of a day not to. That last one I threw it closer because I threw out that hand-fed corn up closer. So hopefully it'll be around that spot where it's jumped at. Hopefully we get on a fish soon though. Oh, man. I know last time I was here and I caught carp, I didn't catch one until about 5 o'clock in the evening. Which with daylight savings would be 6 o'clock in the evening now. Man, I am glad I'm not in a boat in the middle of that right now. We're getting white caps, guys. That is crazy. Not non-stop white caps, but enough to be interesting. You guys let me know if the wind noise gets too strong. We're at the point of the day we're supposed to start picking up. Glad to hear it, man. You still doing chores? You're pretty much done for the day, Dave. And Travis, if you're still in here, you still plan on coming to the meet and greet even with the vehicle trouble? fishy, 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 fishy. Here, fishy, 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 fishy. I've never actually fished this spot, but I thought it'd be decent because it's a hump between two holes. It's not really a hump so much. This is a shallower channel. So you know they have to go through in order to get to either one of the holes. So made sense to me to at least try it. But there is a hole immediately that way, about 40 yards, and there's a hole this way about 20 yards. will say I'm sitting here looking, and straight across there's an area of slack water. I may attempt to chuck a bait in that slack water spot. If today's anything like my last trip here, though, I'll be here till right when I start thinking about leaving, then I'll finally get a bite. And it happened last trip. I got 2 really good fish after that. Actually, I got 3 fish. There was one that was smaller. I threw it back and didn't take a picture of it. It was only like 14.5 pounds. The other 2 were 22 and 25. Hello, my love. Nothing yet. Possibly 1 bite about an hour ago. Mostly been wind. If it's anything like last time, I'll be here till 4 o'clock before I get a bite. Well, no, it'll be 3 o'clock actually, sorry, because the time changed. Because it was 2 o'clock then. But we'll see, I'm hopeful. It's too nice of a day to fish downtown. Would have been too many people on the way. I think I'm going to wait another 15 minutes before I check baits again, since the bite has been so slow. Just in case I'm pulling away from them before they actually find it. For those that are still here, thanks for hanging with us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's warmed up quite a bit. The sun's out. It's actually pretty nice. Started off really cold. It was 35 degrees when I got out of the house this morning. I was originally going to be fishing a tournament out of the kayak, then decided to bank fish due to the crazy wind that was projected for today. And then the tournament got canceled, so then I went and tried fishing anyway. And a lot of my normal river haunts were full of people already, or there was no signs of life at all. And I swung by here and it looked pretty good, so went back, got the carp gear. Now we're out here carp fishing. GoPro died. Yeehaw. Oh. Hey, that's a bite. That's a bite. That was definitely a bite. I saw it. I guess it could have been a twig or something caught on the line. I guess now I need to change his GoPro battery so I can get a good angle on it. But he picked it up. If it, let me rephrase. If it was a bite, he picked it up and dropped it. If it wasn't a bite, then it got my hopes up. So it's something. And it could be a little fish too. It could be a little catfish. Could be a little carp. They do come in small sizes. I know people that catch 1 and 2 pounders. My personal smallest one's 8 pounds. I've hooked one time that was smaller, but it fell off. But it was something. Could have been a fish swimming in the line too. That is true. Who knows? Or at least we know there's something here. We're still checking the baits in 6 minutes. Well, like I said, we know at least there's one fishy in here.
Oh, goodness. Bless you. Can we go fishing with sometime?
Yeah, probably not here, but somewhere near.
We can go somewhere. Bless you.
going to go ahead and reel in the one that went off first, just in case there's something smallies on there. No, I think whatever it was just swam into it because the corn's left alone and all that good stuff too. I don't know. We're gonna check it back out though. Roughly the same spot. This one had a leaf snagged on it.
Catching anything?
I've had one bite. There's that crazy wind again. I might bring Mrs. Yak back out here tonight. Go for catfish instead. We'll just have to see. I definitely think it has potential. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Very fishy, 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 fishy. What's up, Mark? How are you, buddy? Not a whole lot. I had one bite. Just hanging out, enjoying the sunshine. Finally got a weekend where it's not raining. And I already established today was a fishing day because I was supposed to fish in a tournament this morning. And that got canceled. So I was like, I'm going fishing either way. How are things your way? That's fair. It was 35 when I got out of the house this morning. The wind made it so I couldn't go out on the kayak. It's gusts up to, it was a steady 13, gust up to 35, I think is what they predicted. And just from sitting here feeling it now and watching the gusts occasionally, I feel like they're probably pretty close to right. So, yep, just hanging out. Got out of the wind. Found a spot that was kind of sunny. Just hanging out. That's fair, man. I'm ready for you to get your boat ready, though. I'm waiting for them nighttime flathead live streams again. Hope to actually do some of that this summer myself. Are you just doing like yearly maintenance stuff, or is it like, or is it more like upgrades or something? I mean, that's fair, but still, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Live scope, man. I know Brandon Fish Shizzle really likes his. Uses it a lot. I think it's cool. I just can't afford it. Hopefully it pays off for you, man. It wasn't where you can make money with fish brain. Ah, okay, nice. Yeah, I think my next purchase is going to be a trolling motor for the kayak. If I'd have had that, I could have still went today. Because then the wind speed, I mean, it still matters, but it's not as bad. But with the 13-mile-an-hour winds and me only being able to pedal about, I think I can comfortably do like 3.5 miles an hour. I wasn't going to be going the right direction. That's cool, man. You definitely got your fingers in a lot of stuff. It's pretty cool. You know lots of people. You talk to lots of people. I enjoy watching your stuff a lot. I was sad I missed the one Monday night because I know Joe's a really good dude. I never actually got to fish with him, but like one time. But he's super nice to talk to. I learned a lot from him too, and his brother for that matter on the carp side of things. I think my wife possibly wants to go back fishing for catfish again tonight, so I might be out again tonight. Hopefully it'll be a little more productive. We'll probably take smaller stuff this time because the last spot we got pecked to death by little fish. I almost got my office done too, so I'm hoping I can start doing some tutorial and review videos on some of the stuff I use, especially some of the carp stuff, because I know a lot of people don't know what it is. That is true. I can't do it at work because of where I work, and we're not allowed to have our phone out in the plant per se, but I definitely can start doing it during the drives home for sure. Yeah, I work with a bunch of highly explosive chemicals, and they're apparently a cell phone, since they're not explosion proof, can emit enough of a static charge to set it off. I say explosive, they're actually highly flammable, but relatively the same thing. Oh yeah, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've only done it for about 6 years at this point. But yeah, safety's priority. Want to go home to your wife and kid and everything, and in your case, the little puppos. They're growing big quick, man. They're cute as buttons. "45 years. I don't know if I could ever stay at a job for 45 years. I think I'd go crazy. I guess it would depend on what it was. So you've been fishing at all, or just completely off the grid? Yeah, come on, Dave. Can't hurt, man. I mean, that's true too, Mark. Like I said, I didn't plan on being at this place I'm at now as long as I have been. And it's worked out good, though. Good insurance, stable benefits, stable hours. I was definitely glad to get out of retail. When I went into machining, I was there a little bit longer than I planned to. So I had hoped to go from there to an actual machine shop or a CNC plant, but that market in Chattanooga is lacking. Dude, it's definitely messed up the crappie spawn here too. I'm not even sure there even was one. Normally it would have hit at the way the temperatures have been, the way the water temperature has been, it would have happened already. But I don't know if anybody has consistently caught big crappie on a regular basis other than a couple oddball people. I know we got grass already growing up on the lake too. Granted, the weather is still at winter pool. Winter. I don't know if it's pool or pool, whatever they say. When they lower the water for the winter, it's still sitting there. So the grass that is growing is going to be way deeper when the lake comes up. Maybe. The issue of both of those is the pay cut. That's the reason why I really haven't changed jobs lately, because almost everything's a pay cut for me. And with the bills for the baby and everything, I'm kind of stuck at the moment. We're making it though. I can't complain. Life is good. Like I said, the issue is I can't afford it right now. I got a couple things I got to pay off first before I can consider it. Mostly just oddball medical debt. Still got a couple bills from when the baby was born 2 years ago that are almost paid off. And then I have a couple of house repair bills that are almost done too. I did that for a hot minute too when I found out Shayna was pregnant, because I knew there was things we needed to take taken care of before the baby came, and then whatnot. If I hadn't done that, we'd have been if I hadn't done that, we'd have been screwed. Yeah, it was rough. I'm sure you did it longer than I did, so I can only imagine. I know my dad was the same way when I was born. He was working 3 jobs then too. But part of being an adult or a man of the house, or however you want to phrase any of that stuff, I mean, you do what you got to do. Hey man, I'm always open to hearing advice. I say most just because there's always oddballs, but most of you old guys definitely got good stuff to tell and good practices to show, good things to teach, good stories to share. I enjoy it all the time. I work with several older men that help me out with a lot of stuff too. I'm a blessed individual in that regard. A lot of younger people aren't taking advantage of that, and it'll bite a lot of them in the butt, and a lot of them will realize it's too late when they actually need the help. Today we're fishing for carp. I started off bass fishing, like I said this morning. I had a tournament with Sharina this morning, but they had to postpone it because of the weather for a lot of other folks. And so I took my bass stuff and I went bank hopping around spots this morning. Didn't have any luck. Walked by the creek and it reminded me of a trip earlier this year where I did really well later in the afternoon. So I went back, got the carp stuff, and now I'm sitting here waiting. And so far I've had one bite. Thought for sure it was going to be a take because he hit pretty hard, but I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Could have just swam into the line for all I know. If they hadn't have postponed, if they had canceled it, I could have tried that, but they postponed it until next weekend. And then but next weekend I'm in the Tennessee River Champion Catfish Tournament with Daryl and Pontoon Jody and Bobcat and them. So I won't be able to fish both of them. But I'll hopefully be fishing from the kayak in that tournament too. It's supposed to rain, but it's supposed to be a little bit warmer. So hopefully it'll be all right. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Otherwise, if nothing else, I'll fish from the bank. One thing that there is a lot of tournaments. I mean, a lot of the ones I do are the online ones through StreamYard and stuff, so you only get 8 people in, so you got all the people that want to fish, they can't make it into one, so there's always more. I know Palmetto is doing a ton of them. I actually think Palmetto is hosting the one next weekend that I'm talking about, but not necessarily being the host, but being the no, it'd be the host, the one talking through the show and everything. And then I know the next month and a half I have 4 tournaments that I'm a part of. I think it's good though. I mean, it's gets people in, gets people watching stuff. I mean, there's a ton of people that like to fish. There's a ton of good people that are good at fishing that like to fish, and giving them all opportunities to do their thing and shine and whatnot. I think it's good. I know I have a couple actual local lake ones this summer as well. I skipped a few in the early spring because of weather, but once it gets a little bit warmer, I'm gonna do it no matter what, whether it's raining or not. The issue for me, I would host some, but I'd rather fish them than host them. I mean, I like talking to people and whatnot, but I'd rather be part of the action. That's why I do a lot more videos than anything else, probably. I hope you get to, man. I know my wife and I talked about it. We're going to do a bunch more this year. Now that the baby's older and more stable and everything, and she can actually go with us places a lot easier. We've been trying to get out more. Kind of just waiting on the weather now at this point. She'll be 2 in May, which just blows my mind. Oh yeah, no, I bet that tournament took forever. In terms of behind the scenes stuff. And some people are really into that kind of thing. I do not think I am one of them. Oh, might be getting a nibble. See a line twitch. I think 1v1s are fun too, but I know that I got a few of those to do this year too. I know Hogleg hosts a lot of them. I've done a couple with him last year, and I got a couple scheduled to go with him this year. Yeah, nothing wrong with being a pioneer in something. And like I said, there's so many people that are wanting to watch that stuff. I mean, I don't even think it really matters. I don't think anybody, I know there's always been the concern of, oh, hey, you're stealing so-and-so's views or so-and-so's viewer base or whatever, but I don't even think that's a thing. I think there's that many people that want to watch. Yeah. As long as you stay a good influencer, that's all that matters. I know there's lots of people out there that claim to be influencers, and some are good, some are bad. But I also know a lot of people look up to you and get advice from you and stuff like that because you've proven the system works and all that good stuff. So I can say with my on-camera presence, obviously I'm not staring at the camera right now, but I know you've helped me out a lot with that, just in terms of those couple of conversations you and I have had in the past, and just watching you do your stuff, your shows, and when you pop up on other people's lives I've watched and whatnot, it's helped out a lot. So what's the craziest thing that you've been involved with as an influencer, if you don't mind me asking, if you're allowed to talk about it? I don't blame you, man. And I wasn't necessarily worried about my camera presence, but just the idea of what was acceptable to say, what was expected. What was expected is probably a bigger thing, right? I mean, people go into these lives, they're either looking for information, they're looking for entertainment, or they're looking just for the pure love of fishing. And I think for me, it's more about the true love of fishing than anything, because I don't necessarily have anything to offer. I just enjoy it a lot, and I want other people to be able to experience that and see why I love it so much. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with the people just hanging out. I'm gonna change baits again in a couple minutes. Give it a little bit longer. I know that if she wants to go fishing tonight, I got a couple things I gotta take care of at the house this evening before then. Take it easy, Mark. Thanks for hanging out, man. Pleasure to talk to you as always.
What's up?
Hey,
How are you?
Good, good, good. How you doing? Have you got anything? I see that. Man, the water looks better than I thought.
It's dirty, but it's not like muddy. It's not filthy.
Alrighty.
That was the one I had hit. I think a fish might have swam into the line because the
Alright,
bait wasn't
brother.
this one.
Good to see you.
You too.
Are you still alive?
I am.
Alright, cool. That's pretty cool, man. So alright, that's not even your cell phone, that's a
No, my cell phone's right here. This is the one that's actually live. I had
let's
to.
link to that.
No, it's actually
that's
streaming
the
through
thing
this.
is-
I'm
alright.
recording that too, because then if I can make a video out of it too.
Sure, sure.
If something happens, because you only get so many people that come in live.
Water
It's
looks
like-
a lot better. It looked pretty rough yesterday.
I know you just have to go through like a foot of water to get on that thing still.
Yeah, I checked it out yesterday. It's muddy too there, isn't it? You gotta be careful.
Oh yeah,
on.
slipping, sliding everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I had the tournament this morning. They got canceled, so I was gonna go on the kayak anyway.
I tuned in to see what was going on,
And I saw the wind, and I was like,
yeah.
I don't know if I want to go out in the kayak in the wind. I can only pedal about 3.5 miles an hour comfortably.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It was cold this morning too.
Yes, it was.
Dude, you think it's gonna be 26 tonight?
I saw that. Yes. Not my favorite for sure. If it wouldn't been for the wind, I would have been on the kayaks today anyway. Even though they postponed that tournament.
All right.
But yeah,
That tray's a pain in. That tray's a,
Yes, this is the one that's.
I'll get that removed for you. In fact, look, it's actually right there.
Yeah. Well, this is the bad part. It's the next one up.
This stuff here, isn't it? I'll take care of that.
Somebody was fishing here last night, I think, because I came in. There's footprints everywhere.
Yeah.
So. I don't think it's gonna be the best spot for catfishing either. I know Shayna's been wanting to go. I may take her tonight, so before it gets too cold.
Die hard, brother.
I like fishing, man.
Yeah, I tore my rotator.
How'd you do that? Just working?
Yeah.
Anything in particular you did, or no?
2 hours of above head with extended trimmers.
Tree saw?
Yeah. Trimmers. So yeah. I thought I could have come down. My wife said, come down and go fishing. I'm like, no, I gotta get this healed for work because I know it's just carrying and
Yeah.
even though I'm right-handed.
Doesn't matter. I definitely get it. I just now got off of light duty.
You did? Oh yeah, you got stinged up, didn't
Yeah,
you?
it's all
I
good
see
now though.
that. So I was watching this most of the morning and the top current's turned, didn't it? It was going the other way, wasn't it, earlier?
No, the current's
was
been the same
going this
direction all the time. It's
way.
the
Yeah, that's
wind.
right.
The wind was going this way.
Okay.
There's been a piece of
Yeah, you can see the leads going to the left to right now, yeah.
yeah.
It looks trippy, doesn't it? When you're looking at it, it
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like it's going that way, but it's going the other way.
Yep. And I assumed it would because the lake is, or the river's lower than it has been, so I assume it's going to stay that way for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, it's supposed to rain next weekend, so I don't know if they're going to increase it again or not. Make sure I'm not ignoring anybody. Oh, there's my wife. My wife's like, I tuned in just in time. She's like, oh, wait, you were just messing with the rods.
Happy life is a happy wife.
Yeah, and she hung out with a friend of ours today. Took my kid over to a place called Play Dates. It's
How's she doing?
she's doing great.
Cool.
Her birthday's in May. She'll be 2. I can't believe she'll be 2 already, man. But no, she's doing good. She's babbling a lot more. She actually started trying to pull herself up out of the crib day before yesterday.
Yeah.
She still ain't crawling yet. I put her on.
She'll get there.
I put her on her arms and hands, and she does the rocking thing. And she did like a half hand forward, and then fell on her face and sat there till she started screaming. About 5 minutes, so she started screaming. Once we pick her up, she was done with it.
Cool. So I saw you talking about this setup that
Yeah.
I copied, and I never thought that you could do it that way. Obviously you can.
Yeah.
And I just got my delivery half an hour ago through the mail.
Nice.
I bought 3 of those, I think the Sonic bank sticks, and I used that new company, that Carp Angler.
Uh-huh.
They have fixed shipping for $5 everything. which is crazy compared
That's
to.
pretty nice. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, you know, I love big carp tackle, but their prices can get insane with.
Right.
And you know, I've read their reasoning. They've had problems with rods getting broken and stuff, but just got I mean, pretty pleased.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out for sure.
Yeah, he's a new guy. It's just called carphandler.com.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with him just starting up, his selection isn't quite as big as the other one, though.
He's got some stuff on there, yeah. Have you seen his stuff?
No, I haven't checked it out
Yeah,
yet. I'll have to.
Yeah. How long are you staying around today?
Probably about another hour.
Okay.
I know there's some things I gotta do before we go out again tonight if we go.
Yeah, as soon as this sun goes, it's gonna get real cold.
Probably, which means we're probably not going, but part of me was like, I gotta stay here and at least try to get a bite. Because I mean, honestly, the water looks almost exactly the same as it did that last time you and I went. I'm like, there's gotta be at least one in here.
They're in there. It's just, who knows what they do underneath there with the weather, the temperature,
I don't know, man.
the mud. Yeah.
But like I said, I still tried bass fishing this morning. I fished the lock, I fished the riverwalk some. I came down and walked all the way
Came down
down.
a lock?
Huh?
In your kayak?
No.
Oh, just, okay, alright.
No, because of the wind, I just gave up on the kayak today.
Right.
So I bank fished for a couple hours, and then I was like, I was walking from that corner. There were some people there. I couldn't fish there. Walked back this way, saw this. I'm like,
Oh, this is already busy up here?
oh, there was like 4 people down there.
Oh.
I
That's
was
the
like,
only downside to this spot. It's great, but there's only 2 places to fish, and people are not polite. If you're there, they'll come shoulder to shoulder. So
I mean, I don't necessarily care if they come shoulder to shoulder as long as they're not crossing my lines. When they cross my lines, I get upset.
But you know, carp fishing, they're going to be crossing your lines.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I was debating between either carp or catfish, and I was like, I don't usually have good luck for the middle of the day for catfish, so carp it was. So far, it's the only thing I've caught this year besides skipjack.
Well, once it warms up, we'll get our kayaks in here and we'll go maybe a little bit further out of sight and then see what carp we can catch. Or
I'm sure we'll
catfish.
get some for sure.
Yeah.
I'm still looking forward to that trip on the islands too.
Yes. That's top secret.
I don't know which island.
Yeah. I still think that's going to be the new Dow Hollow, man.
That'd be cool, man. I wouldn't hurt my feelings, man. That's for sure. It'll take a lot more setting up, though.
Sure, but when you look at it and you just go, wow, it's kind of the same mindset how Dow Hollow got discovered.
Yep. Only difference is it's only a third of a fourth of the size of the lake, and
Yeah, and it's, what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for us?
not 3 hours.
Yeah.
My wife still wants to go up there at some point, though.
Too, yeah.
But I was looking at prices for vertibles up there, man. For anything that's on the water, it's ridiculous. Like, you'd have to go with a bunch of people and split it.
Yeah.
I think because of
Can
those
you get
couple,
lakefront on the water?
there was some. I don't know if they're still going to be or not. But those are the ones that are more expensive, obviously.
I heard there's a couple of campsites that you can fish literally on, straight on the water. There's one that's like a mini island. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. And
Talking about like Lilydale or
Lilydale. Yeah. There's that British guy that did that YouTube video on there, and I've heard some of the podcast guys say that some of those spots are not as prolific anymore. And,
oh yeah, of course. I mean,
overfished.
Yeah, exactly.
And they said that if you get in a kayak and go 100 yards upriver, downriver,
Yeah.
you can get back out on them. And so I don't know. I mean, you just gotta go check it out.
well, I'm not opposed to any of that either way. I mean, if it is, oh hey, I'm done fishing for the day, I'm gonna go home, take a nap, and sit by the fire, and the next morning pedal again. Sure, whatever. Thanks, I'll shut that off. Didn't know if the bag come in or not.
Shut it off.
No, I shut off my screen. I have it actually on this one, but I haven't watched it through my phone, so I can talk to people that show it, so I can see it.
Are people watching?
Not right now.
Can you tell how many and who?
It stays somewhat updated. It's not always accurate.
Okay.
I think the most I've had in there today was 6 or 7.
I like it, dude. It's cool. it takes some doing too, man. This isn't easy stuff to do. To be able to keep people captivated and
The biggest thing is being able to hold a conversation.
yeah, right.
Which I can
and you're
talk-
doing this alone.
That's true.
That's the hard part.
It's talking to the camera, yeah.
Right. And then people walk past with a dog going, who the hell is that guy talking to?
Yeah, right?
And they see the camera.
I've only had a few people stare at me today. It's one thing. That's one thing I do. I do enjoy doing it from the kayak much more because I can be by myself, and anybody that drives by hears me. It's like, oh, he's talking on the phone. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not quite so bad.
So you've checked out the other side, right?
Not on this side. I know this is all watched,
Which side did you went that way?
I
or
went
this-
that way.
Yeah, I went that way too. And,
and it's nothing but tree snags.
brush.
And I'm like, oh,
And it gets muddy, doesn't it?
it gets stupid muddy.
Yeah, that's what I
And the
noticed.
part that sucks is if you do go all the way down. I didn't go all the way down because I know it is like that already. Fishing there before from the other side, but it gets stupid shallow really quick
Oh, it
towards the
does?
end on that side of it on the end. Like if when water's a normal level, it's like 2 feet deep. And I've seen one carp jump there while I was fishing the mouth.
Dude, last time when we fished that spot, you got those 3.
Yeah.
How many fish were jumping?
A
That
lot.
was insane.
Yes.
I mean,
I've not seen a single
I've
one
never
today.
seen fish of that volume jumping in that time space down here before.
I can say that there's been a normal amount of fish activity there in the past. I've never had that many carp jump out of the water there in the past.
That's crazy.
And it's definitely nothing like Carl and Alex out there in Oregon or wherever it was. Idaho, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Just sitting there like, oh, hey, there's another one. And, oh, hey, there's another one. Like, I'm sure they edit out some of the time in between, but just
Right.
seeing fish completely go out of the water like that, it's just so cool.
Did you see, it's just Carl now, isn't it? Did you see Carl's, I don't know if it was on his Facebook page or on his site that he got to meet.
Yeah, the guy from River Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, dude, that is awesome.
Jeremy Wade.
Thank
that's
you,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, man, that'd been cool.
It's the only thing that I kind of do miss is there's no trade shows here. I mean,
They're not really, no.
No, not carp trade shows.
Not carp
Oh,
shows,
yeah.
no. There probably is actually in like North or South Carolina, but they're probably more like Pay Laker ones.
Well, I don't know if you. Big Carp Tackle do a live stream about once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I watched
and
that
they
before, yeah.
announced, I don't, it's no secret, and they've said it's not being a kept secret, but they've been working on it, I think, for 4 years. They have set up their own lake. They're moving somewhere into Texas, because I think they're in Oklahoma, aren't they?
Yeah, I think
they're
so.
moving to Texas, the whole thing, and they've got their own lake, and they said it's going to be the best carp lake in the US. They're building it, they're going to have on-site, they're doing it on the British model, like with pegs.
Yeah.
And they're going to have an on-site permanent resident there.
Hey, man, might be
I
worth
know,
checking out.
yeah, it sounds great.
See, I have no problem with stuff like that. There's a difference between that and like the traditional pay lakes where you just, you go and harvest 200 fish, you throw them in a 1 acre pond, That
Yeah.
part drives me nuts.
That's a Carolina thing, isn't it?
No, they have
Is that
them in
deep
the
south
Midwest. No, it's
Everywhere?
there are lots of places in the United States that are like that.
I just don't like how they handle the fish. They don't
Right,
have
that's the
any
thing,
carp
yeah.
care.
Yeah.
They stick them nose first in those weird-looking tube things,
Yeah.
and then they ride across the lake to measure them, or to weigh them, and
Yeah.
they're out of the water a long time, and they're
It's
big up,
different.
and their noses are all flat, and
And some people are really into that kind of thing. I mean, it's guaranteed fish. I mean, if you have a short time to fish, then
it
sure.
is. It's guaranteed.
Basically, I mean, you
Volume of fish.
and the amount of water there is. I mean, here there might be one fish this whole thing. There might be 100 fish here. I don't know.
Right.
In a pay lake though, if I have a lake, or even like you said, the private syndicate lakes, it might be 4 acres, but there's 100 fish in there.
So when you go to a pay lake, is it to fish on there? Is it just a competition every time you fish, or can you just go
No.
there for pleasure?
You can go there for pleasure. Yeah.
Oh, all right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you pay. I think it depends on the lake. The ones I looked at some in the past just to go, just to experience it, because I never fished one. There was that one in particular. I looked at, there was a fee to be able to fish the lake itself, and then if you kept anything, you paid per pound.
Okay.
And then they sold all the gear and stuff, and some of them made you so you could bring your own rods, but you had to buy their bait, kind of thing, stuff like that.
You can keep the fish then?
Some of them were like that. Depends on what the fish species were.
Wow.
Like I said, I don't know anybody that eats carp, but I know some of the ones that have like the catfish and stuff. You keep the catfish. I know where I grew up in Michigan, there was one that had stock trout, and you paid per trout you kept. Stuff like that. I mean, the concept of them, just the basic concept of them, isn't terrible. You're giving somebody a really good high percentage chance to catch a fish. But yeah, a lot of places the fish care is absolutely garbage, and so it's just like, is it really that good of a fishery, or is it just kind of a money grab?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the part where they get a lot of flack from. That's where
It's a business. It's not really like sport fishing and catch and release.
Right. Yeah.
It's a business model, and
Yep.
and like, don't get me wrong. Back in the UK, their business models, and they are heavily stocked a lot of those places, but they're so overfished that you've got to go to ridiculous levels of rig setup now just to catch them.
I was talking about that on the stream earlier for some people explaining the level of.
Like some people go there for one bite.
Right.
One bite a session. That's insane to me.
I mean, that's what you do when you're wild fishing. You go for one, because if you get one, you might get two. But
yeah, then we might have a day like the other week when you get those 3 beautiful fish
back to back
in an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't
2
very long.
hours. They're in here. I mean, they are in here.
Well, they're in this whole entire river. Like if it would have been, if it wouldn't have been this windy today, I was considering going downtown. Because I know the water's at a more manageable level.
Yeah, you get that little sheltered area too, don't you?
Right, and I was like, that'd be great. But I was like, there's gonna be a lot of people walking by because it's finally getting warm and sunny and it's the weekend, and it's like, I don't really want to pay to park. That's the biggest problem down there is having to pay to park.
It's Saturday, isn't it? It's free on Sunday.
Yeah. It's different.
Look at the current. Looks like waves coming.
It's the wind. It was white capping earlier.
Really? Here?
Yeah. It wasn't a lot. Maybe it was for a minute. It was blowing really hard. And yeah, it was white capping. I was like, might have to maybe put a bigger weight on there.
Yeah.
But I also did, this was the last second trip because, like I said, I didn't plan on doing that tournament, so I didn't make any field before. I didn't chum the spot up or anything.
So when I tuned in, I heard your name mentioned. There was like 4 of them screens as the lady that.
Oh, Sharina? Yeah.
I figured that was her. So I didn't get the gist. So clearly it was cancelled, and they were just like gassing online.
It's actually, it was just postponed till next weekend, but I can't do it next weekend because I'm in that other one for the catfishing next weekend.
It's cool to see these. I don't want to sound biased. It's cool to see some girls out there fishing too.
Oh, there's a lot.
Fishing. I didn't know. Right?
Yeah. Well, that tournament's not all kayak.
It's not.
I don't know. I don't know anybody personally that kayak
Where
fishes.
is it? Where was the competition going to be?
So she is actually in Indiana. It was just online. It was just whoever you could fish wherever you want as long as it's a public body of water.
Oh, so you weren't
all
meeting somewhere? You were just doing it individually? Yeah. Oh, all right.
That's what the live streaming part's for. I could fish here in Tennessee, and they could fish in Indiana, or I know one of the catfish tournaments I did back in May of last year.
Did it all have to be bass, the same fish?
Right. It was. Okay. It had to be a large amount of smallmouth or spotted bass kind of thing. And it was based on numbers of fish, so it didn't really matter. I might be on Lake Chickamauga, which is one of the best fisheries in the country for bass, but if I only caught 2 10-pounders and somebody caught 3 2-pounders, they won still. It was a numbers tournament, so.
Oh, numbers, not weight?
Right. They had a category for biggest fish too, but it wasn't automatically won if you had the biggest fish. And they have tournaments like that all the time. It's just a matter of finding them and following their rules and stuff.
All right, that's cool.
It's all different. And actually, that same lady is doing a carp tournament in June.
I heard that. So, can you be in a kayak, or you got to be on a bank, or there's no?
Unless they make something specific. Usually, the only limitations they set are how many rods you can use, and what kind of baits you can use.
Do you know the 4 that were online this morning?
Say it again.
Do you know the 4?
JBT, he's in
Where
Texas.
Where are they from? Yeah.
JBT's in Texas. Sharina's in Indiana.
All right.
Who was the other guy that was on at the time when I was on there? Was it CFW?
There was 2 girls. 2 guys.
Oh, Alicia. Alicia is in.
She was in a car or a truck, I think.
Yeah. She's somewhere in the Midwest. I don't remember where exactly.
Right.
And then Robin, I know, was going to compete in. She's in Michigan. Her and her husband were in Michigan.
All right, that's cool.
So yeah,
a carp version going.
I'm about to say she want to do a carp. They want JBT and Sharina both love carp fishing. Now Sharina likes both rod and reel and bow fishing. She does both.
Okay. We'll have to educate her.
Well, she understands the difference on conservation and stuff too. She's not one of the ones that's a problem. if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But and JBT, he fishes for him. He actually uses carp for bait for catfish. If he catches a small one, he cuts it up and uses it for catfish.
Yeah, I remember Luke used to do that, didn't he? Do you do they use, I don't know, Euro style for their carp fishing, or is it similar, or
She does not. She uses bells.
bait casters like Abu Garcia's and all that?
I think she uses both
Alright.
spinning and other ones. I can't remember if JBT has spinning reels, but I think he uses bells also and just uses the bait runners. I don't think he actually has any alarms. To my knowledge, in the little group that I'm familiar with, I think I'm the only one that does the Euro style part of it.
Do they do hair rigs, or are they just hooking bait straight on the?
JBT does. I don't remember if Sharina does.
Are they familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And JBT uses boilies and stuff.
Okay.
He makes his own. His are,
I'm about to try that.
His are bright red. I don't remember what he uses exactly to make his, but yeah, they're big and bright red. And she actually went to some sort of carp fishing convention in Indiana and picked up some stuff. I don't remember what it was called though. Yeah, she picked up some more stuff, tiger nuts and some other stuff to try this year. And she's she does a lot of bouncing back and forth between carp and catfish because she lives right on the river pretty much. So
I'll give you a little. It's no secret, but I haven't heard it already mentioned over here. We call it luncheon meat. It's like sort of
spam.
I saw it in Walmart. It's actually pork luncheon meat. Yeah, it's like a blob of. Yeah, it's like chopped up hot dogs or meat, cube meat, carp and catfish. So you got like double whammy chance.
I thought about doing some of that too.
It does work. I tried it at the lock and it works.
Yeah, I actually won a catfish tournament on spam a couple months ago.
It works good. Yeah. You can get pestered if you're trying to catch carp with too many catfish.
I'm sure. Yeah. If you're doing any kind of a numbers catfish tournament, though, you know what to do. So.
Yeah.
And the small catfish is almost as fun as a small carp on these rods. So it's not that big of a deal for me.
Yeah, I don't mind. Better than blanking.
Right. And I brought night crawlers. I thought about changing it at some point, maybe from corn to night crawlers, but I don't know if I want to do that. I might just stick with the corn, just stick it out.
I just bought, I haven't used them yet. Some of ACS's, their latest boilies, the Mapex ones.
Mapex? Was it maple and something?
You know, I actually put a message on their Facebook page saying, what does Mapex mean? I said, is it a maple extract? And Sean messaged back and said, you know, as in true Sean style, he was like, oh, it's one of our, coveted new baits, but it isn't maple. Because I thought I heard that name years ago, and the name I remember was Scopex.
I say, and that's supposed to be like a.
I still don't know what Scopex
that's supposed to be like a vanilla almond or something.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, if I remember, like it's supposed to be. So I had tried recreating the Scopex before by hand because I couldn't afford any of that stuff at the time.
Either, yeah.
But everything I read, and there was a vanilla and something else that was very similar, and it was just kind of a. Somebody said buttery tones too, so I was like, one time I tried making something with like a butter flavor and vanilla flavor, and it smelled great. I'd ate it. It doesn't mean they would have.
Yeah, I eat all my boilies to see what they taste like. Yeah. And this is the first one that I couldn't put my finger on what it was.
I got you.
Yeah, it's different.
Wait to see if we get a question about. Hi Shannon, no, yeah, Dave's here. Dave came by, say hey for a minute.
Hey.
I don't know if she's still there or not. She asked me if I had anything, and she's like, "Oh, you have company."
Is that the wife?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because she's hanging out with a friend of ours. Their kid is 2, and ours is fixing to be 2, so they're hanging out. They can't completely play with each other because the other one's obviously walking and running around, talking sentences and stuff. But it's still cool.
Yeah, they'll get that.
Yep.
I bought a little set of
the snag ears.
No, not snag ears. White indicators. I bought another little set.
Oh, did you? What'd you get?
I think they were forged tackles. I think
the light up ones.
No, they're just the cheap end ones.
Okay.
So I wanted I've got a little setup now that goes in my little bag and everything.
Yeah.
Because you bought that Fox.
I have not used it yet. I've been doing an unboxing video for it.
So I've got those 3 poles set up, the 10 footers, and then I've got 3 bank sticks and that little, is it the Avid?
Buzz pod.
Yeah, the buzz bar, and it all fits nicely in my bag. So I'm trying to make the after work thing light as possible.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you.
You know what it's like. You buy the big bag and you put more stuff in it.
That's true. That's with any kind of fishing, though. I know. So I've been wanting to get my office done. I want to put a pegboard up in there where I can hang up all my stuff, so I know what I got, and I can literally be like, "Here's my bag, pack what I need that day," and then I can put it away.
Yeah.
Because I'm guilty. Like I literally I dumped it in my car because it was all catfish stuff, and now it's my my camera gear and fishing stuff right now. That's it. I do not. For me, it was a convenience thing to do.
Yeah, I just...
Because I didn't feel like waiting an hour for pressure cooker batch.
I've read a little bit and I was curious to see if there's...
So the canned corn is saltier. I will say all of my original carp fishing...
crunchier, isn't it?
The feed corn is. Well, I mean, it can be. It depends how you make it. This is not crunchier. This is much softer.
Yeah,
Bluegills can
sorry,
be
yeah,
soft,
the canned corn's always softer, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the feed corn's always real tough and it...
Right.
You've got to get your...
it stays in the hook better. Because it is bigger, I feel like you avoid turtles, you avoid bluegills, stuff like that. Yeah, I feel like it's easier for the fish to find too with it being bigger because we both know carp use sight pretty much for a lot of their stuff too, not just scent. So,
And the fake baits now are...
pretty much same
fake
size.
corn, yeah, they're like identical. Juice on them and
Yep.
keep them up.
Yep, you can do all kinds of stuff. But yeah, no, if I had the time, I would have done some some more field corn today. But I didn't.
Last minute.
Right. I thought about doing a pack bait. I was like, I'll just I got the sweet feed and the PVA still.
Man,
Yeah.
I've got to get back into that. I haven't done that in a long time, but that is a very good alternative.
I do think it works better on lakes.
So I just listened to... Have you ever heard of the French guy?
The guy in the Beausoleil, Matthew Collins.
No. He's a black dude. His parents are... He was born in France, but his parents are from West Africa. And he lives in Oregon.
I have not.
He's got a YouTube video called... River Madness.
Okay.
Oliver Ganzini or something like that.
I would never be able to spell that.
I haven't seen it, but I listened to a podcast talking. Did an interview and he talks about he fishes the Columbia and it's fast moving, and he makes his own method mix and he makes it real sticky so it doesn't break down. It just dribbles off. Yeah.
I've debated doing ones with like corn syrup.
Yeah,
for the river because it would take longer because the current obviously would help it break down faster.
I think what was the dogs? The stuff you...
The sweet feed?
Yeah, what was you mixing in with that?
Molasses?
Molasses, yeah. I think that would be a crucial ingredient.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, molasses.
That was the other thing. I didn't pick up any more molasses today either. I mean, it's only $3 a jar, so it's not super expensive.
Yeah. I like the way he talks about he uses 4 and 6 ounce weights. Mm-hmm. And I'm figuring that he must have weight added to his method, or he's just packing it around a 4 ounce weight or 6 ounce.
So one
weight.
thing I will say, if you do it with the corn syrup, you can pack it around pretty much anything.
Right.
Because you can it literally you can make a missile out of it. you just pack it hard enough.
Right.
And the corn syrup stuff doesn't seem to spoil as fast either, which is nice. And it doesn't matter how hot or cold it is; it's still gonna be sticky. But the concern is breakdown time. But like you said, somewhere it's based.
Yeah, he emphasized the fact that if your method, like he does on a lake bed, like traditional Jello pack bait,
it just all went downriver already.
He said you won't catch a fish, but you got to keep the pack. You got to keep your method mix, however you do it, on your method feeder to keep the fish actively coming into that zone.
Right. So.
And it's common sense, but I mean, how much of a degree have we done that?
I haven't.
Yeah,
like
right. I mean, this is, I don't know underneath what this would look like, how fast it moves.
Oh, it's going fast enough, I can tell you that much. I know even with the 3 ounce sinker, it moved probably 4 foot before it hit bottom.
You did?
Yeah, it was moving pretty good.
A couple of weeks ago, I couldn't keep it still Yeah, with 3 ounces then. Yeah.
This might be a 4 ounce knife. I lost the weight right before you got here, and I just put one on it that I had. But yeah, when I was actually counting when I first got here, I had 3 ounces on it. Yeah, it moved about
Still
4 foot.
moving?
Yeah.
So you might need 6 out. Are you, have you got a feeder on there or just a
No,
inline?
just inline.
Yeah.
Set up right now. That was the thing I know. When it was Carl and Alex, they were talking a lot about river fishing, how they used longer hook lengths. Also, for that same concept, because it was, the bait was constantly moving by.
Yeah. And you throw, well, it's intriguing to watch you do that here, but you throw your bait so it sinks as it's much further.
Yeah.
But, standing here looking, it looks like the water's going that way, but it's going that way.
Yeah.
And you can see the leaves going to the right, but the wind's blowing the top current
To the left.
to the left. It's bizarre, isn't it? You look at it.
That's why usually when I first get here, the first thing I'll do is, if I'm using corn, I'll throw one right at the end of the hook so I don't try to snag up as easy, and I'll throw it out and see what it does before I do anything. Just for that reason, just make sure it's doing what I think it's doing.
Where's that hole you were talking about? Is it to
There's
the left
two.
or the right?
So there's one right past, about halfway down in the middle of the bridge that goes on that side of it, and then the one that we were fishing in that I was getting fishing last time was really right out from the street.
Okay, I see. Yeah, right.
And then the next hole is right past that bridge. And we had baits in both the holes last time. And I caught the ones out of this hole, and you were getting nibbles in the other hole.
Yeah. It was only 10 days ago. This was all flooded out here.
Oh yeah. Ernie, how are you, buddy? Hope you and Chrissy are doing well. Just here talking to my buddy Dave about carp fishing. He's a transplant. Moved from England to California, and now he's in Tennessee with me.
Yeah, man.
You'll see him a lot more on the channel in the coming years, I'm sure, on the carp side of things.
I spread my wings too, man.
Huh?
Do some bass.
Yeah.
Catfish,
Oh yeah, we'll do a little bit of everything, man.
I spread my wings.
But yeah, dude, I had five rods ready for this morning for the bass tournament. I was ready. And then 30 minutes before the tournament started, you think it starts at 45 minutes, right? She's like, yeah, okay. So all right. And I went pack my stuff, and I got in the car and started driving. And I turned it on because it was 9:01. I was like, she's like, hey. And she's like, hey. I said, how's it going? She's like, what you doing? I said, driving to the river. And she's like, did you get the memo? I'm like, what? Okay. So I turned around, hung out with my wife and the kid for a minute until it got a little bit warmer. And then I tried doing bass fishing for a couple hours.
Yeah. Braver than me, man. It was cold this morning.
The coldest I ever fished in was last January. My wife and I went, she wanted to go kayak fishing. And we finally had a day to do it. And it was going to be sunny, but it was 21 degrees. We'll never do that again. That's all I can
Wife's
say.
diehard too, man. I'd never get
When
my
she
wife
really,
up.
when she wanted it, yeah.
Yeah, my
We-
wife wouldn't get out of bed if it was 21 degrees.
we took took her baby to her mom's to watch it for a couple hours, and yeah, we kayaked and we were gonna go for whatever. Had crappie baits, bass baits.
Right on.
Wind was blowing like crazy, but she really wanted to go kayaking, and I wanted to try out the Hobie because I hadn't used it yet,
Yeah.
and it was 21 degrees. I'm like, nah, I'm never taking her out that cold again. I might go myself that cold, but she was miserable, and I had to help her out with a lot of stuff, which I ain't complaining about. She was new to it, didn't know what she was doing either, but.
Yep.
It was rough. Appreciate it, Ernie. Bass fishing pliers.
Yeah.
I got like 8 pairs of fishing pliers
Is that what the little?
for the split rings. So open up split rings.
Okay.
So you can change out hooks on like the crankbaits and stuff.
Okay. I got a gift for Christmas and it had the same thing and I couldn't figure out what that was for.
Yep, it's a split ring hook.
Ready? Well, before I came down, I noticed you had a couple of pretty good bite indicators in there. Did you?
I had one I'm pretty sure was wind, And then the one, that had to have been a fish. I don't know if it swam into the line or if it didn't hook up or if it, I don't know, picked away the PVA bag and just bumped it or what. But yeah, it was a solid hit. And I thought for sure that was gonna hook up.
Now, do you like to wait for the big
I don't
run,
try to set the hooks. I let them do it themselves.
I mean, if you get like 3 or 4 beeps, will you strike too, or will you wait for the big run?
If it's like that, sure. If I go up there and it's nonstop beeps, yeah. But if it's like 3 or 4 and then it stops, I leave it alone. Because I mean, especially if I'm using a pack bait, because every time if you have it sensitive enough, them hitting the pack bait ball set it off. And that was a thing I was having a lot of trouble with. Before I had the alarms, where I sit there and just stare at the rod tip all the time. You see the tap tap, and I get all excited, and I sit there and.
So you know Ian Sorrell, you know that name. He's the selling a CAG right now.
Yeah.
And on a podcast I listened to not that long ago, he talked exactly about that. How he was fishing with a guy, and the guy was getting these little tap taps. He's like, "You need to hit that." And he's like, "No. I'm waiting for the big run. They always run." And he said, "If he does it again, hit it." And the guy didn't, and then. At one point, Ian got the same thing and like 30-pounder.
Yeah.
So
No,
I mean,
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I mean,
sure. I'm just curious how people were like.
But typically for me, especially if I got multiple rods out, or if I got my wife and the kids,
I'm the same, man. I'm like you.
I'll just wait. I'm relaxing. If they're there, great. And my thing is, if the beep and they're hooked already, then when I go to change the bait in 15 minutes, they'll be there still. You know what I mean? I've had that happen before too, where they've been on there, I didn't know.
Okay.
Because
I'm just curious about how.
I know that they can pick up the bait and spit it out and get away with it, but I think if your bait is what they want, they're gonna do it enough to get hooked. I don't think it's ever 100%. Oh, hey, I got it, I dropped it, I leave. I think if they really want it, they're gonna keep hitting it. And so yeah, I've had fish be on there and I not know it until I check the bait. Oh, hey, there's a fish there. And I know buffalo are really bad about it. They'll get hooked and they'll just sit there. But
They'll just sit on the spot.
yeah, I mean, I've literally only one time have I reeled my bait in and there was a carp on it. All the rest of the time it's been buffalo. And I've heard about people talking about that in the past. And the guys that fish in Cleveland that I talked to, the same thing. They're like, oh, if they're tapping, strike it because it's probably buffalo. But I mean, all my big fish I've caught have all been runners, or even the ones we caught here the other day. They were taps, but there was a steady. Keep bending, you know. I mean, it wasn't
start moving and then it takes your line. Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, I was curious because that doesn't make sense to me. If you get a little tap and it goes away and there's a fish.
Well, here's
there.
the other thing: if it's tapping, and if it doesn't have it, well, you just set the hook, you just move the sinker and everything away from it. You probably startle the fish.
Right.
And on top of that, if it was there and he was only staying in that spot, well, you just put the bait somewhere else.
Yeah. You saw that video though, that carp sucking that one.
Over and over again.
Yeah. I mean.
It happens.
Cool. Yeah.
But I think for me personally, I can deal with that. Oh, hey, I might miss a fish because I should have set the hook. But I'd much rather sit there and take my nap and wait for the alarm to go off. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, where is your chair?
I didn't bring it. I had the benches today, so. Didn't think it was needed today.
That's the thing with carp fishing, man. You can sit here and get nothing for hours, and then you can get whatever 10, 20, 30 pounder come along. Whoosh.
That left-hand rod is either stuck on something, like something stuck on the line. Actually, you know what? It's that stick.
You on that stick?
Yeah.
Okay, I see it. There you go.
Set right is a huge game changer.
Getting what?
The bobbin set right.
I was the biggest victim of making my bobbins way too low down, and then I like to see them coming up on the uptake, but it's really to see that back bite.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, to keep it stationary like in the wind today.
Yeah.
So you do see your bites, but yeah, I was always, I don't know,
Everybody does different. It's all good.
I would say it's just a bad habit I got into.
Sure.
As a kid with the old-fashioned bobbins. I mean, when we were kids, we used to use it was called Fairy Liquid. It was like dish soap, the plastic lids that clip together. We used to put those down before bobbins were around. Yeah. And you always were told put them down on the ground so you can see them rising up. So yeah, the equipment we got now is spoiled.
Agreed.
The Widowmaker hanging around out there.
Yep. For everybody that's sticking around, I think we're going to cut the stream at 4 o'clock. So we've got 4 more minutes. Maybe something will happen. We'll see. Yeah, I'm going to cut the stream, and either A, I'm going to go fish off down there if the water went down at all, which I don't think it did. Or B, I'm going to call my wife and see what she wants to do. If she wants to go fishing at night, I got to go home and make dinner.
So your catfishing thing you did off the pier, off River Park, right?
I've done 2 up there off the pier now. I had 1 bite the second day.
So if you get something that you can pull out of the water, how do you?
So that day,
go down on the riprap.
because the water was so high, I would have jumped the rail and climbed the riprap and get it. The second day, with that net, if she is with me and she has the rod, I can weave my arms through it and get it that way, and then just hand it up to her. She can hold the handle, and I can get over the top that way.
If you've got like a 3-4 footer.
Yeah.
When I was at work, I saw a guy down there like 6 in the morning, freezing his butt off, and he was doing his YouTube page, and he had one on a big line, and he pulled it up. I think it was as big as me.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "How are you going to get that out? I mean, you're 20-foot water drop."
And what did he say?
And he said, "I'm going to let it go," but he just jumped down the rocks and I guess just unhooked it and let it go. But
was he gray-haired,
no,
kind of scruffy looking? Because if it was, it's Big Mike. He's a good dude. He actually drove by me earlier. Him and his buddy were on a boat. They went fishing back here further.
No, this guy doesn't do it in a boat.
Well, he fishes from the bank normally, but his somebody he met took him out on their boat.
Okay.
So he was with them today.
I don't remember his name. I know he.
There's more than one guy.
Okay.
That fished
I
up
don't
there.
remember who it was, but it was a big catfish he had down there. He said he was competing against the Chat Cats guy at one point for the record.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said he held the record before. What was that guy's name?
Before Joe did.
Yeah, and hasn't he got that 86-pounder?
The 86 or the 96
Yeah,
one.
yeah, whatever it was. Yeah,
It was huge.
That was just down there too.
There was one of them that was down there. Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
80
yeah.
something. The 80 something
That was
pounder
the
was
80
down
something,
there.
wasn't it?
Yeah, the 91 he caught on his boat.
Wow.
I remember watching that video. Man, it was
Was that
he
before? Before the 86?
It was, yeah.
Okay, all right. I only saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the other one, he didn't have a scale, so he did the measurement thing where you did the math, and it ended up being it's either 96 or 102, one of the two, I can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good fisherman, that show guy.
Oh yeah, he's a guide too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we're gonna go and shut her down, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch y'all next time on Yakshore Outdoors.